Hello, cellists, violists, bassists, trombonists, guitarists. Okay, that's it. The D minor prelude from our second suite, BWV 1008, by Johann Sebastian Bach, shares some characteristics with the Sarabande. And like the Sarabande, this movement has a heavy second beat. The technical term is agogic accent. Implied emphasis can be created by a longer note, as is done here, but also by other means such as ornaments, a rise in pitch, harmonic pull, and even change in slurs. Another Sarabande characteristic in this prelude is the dotted rhythm. Let's look at bar 5. And again, bar 7. And you will see a few times in this movement we have dotted rhythms. Let's keep in mind the somber and emotional character of this movement. The diminished 7th chord in the 2nd and 3rd bars is a telltale sign. Here and here, another 7th chord. Diminished 7th chords were used by composers for hundreds of years to show strong emotion in music and are still used as such today. Looking at the opening bars, I like to hear a build-up of 3 subphrases. The first bar is less, and then the second bar is a bit more, and then the third bar is the most. We come up to the E. I like a bit of separation between each of these subphrases. In other words, a bit more time in tapering of sound on the A here. Obviously the second beat of the first bar, and on the B in the second bar before going on here. Yeah. You can think of yourself as a narrator that needs to take a breath between sentences. I also like to place the downbeat of bar 5. So I take a little time before downbeat of bar 5. And that is to feel that bar 5 is the beginning of a new phrase. In bar 15, going forward, notice the diminution of the first motif. So the first bar, the first motif is, and then bar 15, we have, but here we have it in 16th notes. Notice the hemiola in bars 21 and 22. Here. So I like bringing out the third beat in bar 21 to show this hemiola. Again, a hemiola is when you take 2 bars of 3 beats each and make them into 3 bars of 2 beats each. And so instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you can think of it as counting 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And this makes for a very nice polyrhythm. So when we play hemiolas, it doesn't mean that we have to discard the old bar, the written bar line. It just means that we have to feel that pull between the 2 and the 3. Try to study the Anna Magdalena slurs. They are really very good and very interesting. I will add my copy below. The downbeat of bar 26 is a start of a series of sequences. And I like to give it a bit of time and not to rush into it. Let's see, I will play a little before. was starting at bar 25. So that B flat, it's a start of a sequence, a few sequences. So we have one sequence is here, second one is here, third one, and fourth one. On the downbeat of bar 30, we arrive at a pedal point on A, which is the dominant of D. Keep this A in your inner ear while you play the following 6 bars. Here. Finally, D. So obviously don't play like what I just did now, but it's good to keep the D in your ear. The A. Did I say a D? Yes, the A. The G sharp downbeat of bar 32 is a dissonance, obviously, against the A and requires a special color. Although the A is not written, it is in our ear and the listener's ear, hopefully. I would take a bit of time in crescendo towards the arrival of D minor in bar 36. We'll start in bar 35. The first note of each bar, starting bar 37, marked in red here, is going down. So show that it moves down step by step. And here, G, F, E. In bar 40, we have another statement of that first motif. Now the intervals are larger than in the beginning. So here we have. So again, to remind you, if you forgot how it starts, and here we are. Now the intervals are larger than in the beginning. And we have to give them the gravitas that they deserve. This does not mean you have to slow down a lot. It means that you have to change to a darker color and perhaps slow down a little bit. Be sure though that the bow attack is similar to the beginning. So don't suddenly play shorter or more off the string or more attack, or just keep it within the same family. In bar 42, we have even bigger intervals here. So you may want to take more time here and separation before going on to the last 3/16 of this bar. So I wait a little more on the D. Give more time and importance to the high G in bar 44. It is the highest note of the prelude. I would also give more strength to the chord in bar 48. Here. This gives more contrast with what's coming up in bar 49. In bar 49, we see the character changing. How do we know the character is changing? There is a Neapolitan broken chord in bar 49. Here. A Neapolitan chord can sound quite striking. And again, quoting Wikipedia, it is not the quality of the chord, but rather the relationship of the chord to the tonality that gives this chord its unexpected character. If we were to play E natural instead of E flat, that will be very strange because we all know this piece so well, but it is in a way more natural to what's written here. So instead of anyway, let's now look at bars 55, 56, and 57. We have leaps of tenths. So E to G. They're marked here in red and green. Again, we see the second beat emphasized. This time, the highest pitch in each bar falls on the second beat. For the famous last 5 bars, think organ, large, sustained sound. Have you tried writing your own embellishment for some of these chords? I usually play something actually I did not write, but I really loved hearing here. Take time before you play the last chord of the Prelude. Or if you don't do the embellishments, a little extra time. As the last and important note, practicing any piece with metronome, but especially solo pieces that are naturally more free, can cause problems. We naturally take time in certain places. For example, when we come to a cadence. When we play with a metronome, we compensate for this lost time by rushing the next few notes in order to keep up with the metronome. I know because I do it too. Another example is when we take more time on the second beat of some bars, such as in this Sarabande, where the second beat of many bars is emphasized and is longer. Taking that extra time is good, it's great, but then you might rush the last beat to compensate for the lost time, and that's not so great. My advice would be to use a foot metronome such as my Dr. Beat, and every time you come to a small stop, also stop the metronome. Then continue in tempo. If you don't have such a metronome, practice playing smaller sections. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.